That's on now.
Let me check who's... Yeah,
Hello.
it's on.
Cool.
Talk?
Can you hear me? How's that?
Do you want to put it up a notch?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
you tell me, yeah.
Bring it closer to your mouth if that's all right. It seems to be...
Is that cool?
Ba ba ba?
Pop, pop, pop. I'll project my voice a bit more, I think.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. Do you want to just test your music with us now?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
The sun goes down.
David, how are you? How are you?
All right, everyone, join me in welcoming Jack Simpson to the stage. Woo!
How's it going? Oh, cool, nice.
Time checks.
None. I'm all good.
Just a clear hand in the air. Start time.
Sweet.
And same.
Yeah, cool, done. All right, judges. We ready to start? All right. Time. The 3rd of May, 2024, Busan, Korea. Today is the final of the World Barista Championship. I'm standing on stage amongst the best baristas in the world, waiting for announcements. I'm smiling, but void of emotion, feeling the weight of every word about to be spoken. Have I done enough to become the next World Barista Champion? The results are called, and I've just missed out. I'm instantly sad, disappointed, and confused. Were all those hours spent training worth it? But while standing there, consumed by emotions, I was abruptly lifted off the ground by a person I had never met. This was Jonathan Gaskar, the person who produced one of the coffees that I served on stage. He hugged me tighter than I'd ever been hugged before, while tears streaming down his face. While I was feeling a wave of negative emotions, this man was overjoyed. He was the happiest person in the room. Not because his coffee almost won the WBC, but because his coffee deserved to be there. This represented his country, his family, years of hard work and sacrifice it took to get his coffee on stage. Now, Jonathan reminded me of something that I had lost sight of. Coffee is about people, human connections, and not just results. Now, barista competition has pushed me beyond what I thought coffee could ever be. But the more time I spent focused on the result, the more disconnected from my responsibilities I became. Now, we have all these tools to make amazing coffee, but the most important is our voice. Now, whether it's on stage or in the cafe, it's our responsibility to represent everyone. Our responsibility to share the value in coffee, and our responsibility to the message that we send the industry. Now, judges, I'm going to be sharing entries out of my journal from the last 12 months. These entries have changed my perception on coffee and helped me understand my responsibilities as a barista competitor. And you'll be able to follow along with those diaries in front of you. Now today, I'm representing two coffee producers, Jonathan Gaskar of Finca Zaza and Jamison Savage of Finca Deborah. I was lucky enough to visit both producers this year, to see not just how amazing their farms are, but how amazing they are as people. They'll be starting with your espresso course today, and I'm serving Jamison's phenomenal nitrogen macerated geisha, grown on his farm, Finca Deborah, in the Volcan region of Panama, 1,900 metres above sea level. Now, Jamison fermented this coffee for 50 hours in a tank flush with nitrogen. This eliminates oxygen and provides a beautiful, silky texture. It continues to flush the tank with nitrogen at specific intervals, contributing to those beautiful citrus qualities you'll find in the espresso. And finally, finishing with 20 days on raised beds and dried to an 11% moisture content. So judges, when you're ready, you can please write these tasting notes down for the espresso course of blood orange, blackberry, and Earl Grey tea. It's going to have a medium weight, silky texture,
Ooh, baby, you're so gorgeous.
and a long lingering, rich finish.
about you.
I'm using a recipe of 20 in, 45 out
Take a little
in
trip
27 seconds.
in the big body.
The 5th of March, 2025. Today, we visited Janison Savage. And after a long drive, we arrived at Finca Deborah, deep in the jungles of Panama. It was stunning. We started in the processing area, where Jamison poured some fresh cherries out to dry, and the aroma of jasmine filled the air. You could already tell these coffees were going to be unbelievable. After lunch, we went for a walk around the farm, but I couldn't help but notice damaged trees. Jamison explained this was due to recent rains. Some cherries had split, and he dramatically lost harvest. These same rains caused landslides, where he lost trees and topsoil, meaning he can't plant on this land again, and his farm has become smaller. Now, if this wasn't bad enough, Jamison explained he lost an entire farm years prior with similar extreme rain events. Now, I knew coffee production was hard, but spending this time with Jamison made me realise how fragile coffee production can be. My appreciation for him grew, and I truly understood the value of his coffee. Now, judges, if you could please just assess the crema and hold off on drinking just for the moment. Now, Jamison's coffee is valuable, not for the price tag, but for the years of hard work, dedication, and many failures it took to get right. It's a culmination of years and years of dedication, and I'm responsible for sharing this value. And it applies to all aspects. Take these cups, for example. They're beautiful, but you could see them as just a cup. But what if I told you they were made by my friend Hank? It took 4 years to design, 15 different prototypes, and 1,500 hours of R&D to achieve. Not only this, it has an evolving lid that changes your perception for the chosen coffee. Now we see the value of the cup. Using our voice and actions, we connect this value to the industry. So judges, when you're ready, if you could please take 2 sips and drink from the thin side of the cup, really highlighting that blood orange. Enjoy. Okay, judges, now for the milk course. And I'm serving Jonathan's beautiful Pacamara, grown on his farm, Finca Zaza, from Wheeler, Colombia, just outside the small town of Bruselas, at 1,600 metres above sea level. Now, Jonathan chose to oxidise his coffee for 60 hours right after picking for complexity, followed by 160-hour anaerobic fermentation, contributing to those beautiful cherry notes you'll find in the cup. And finally, finishing with 16 days on raised beds, opposed to mechanical drying for increased flavour intensity. So judges, when you're ready, if you could please write these tasting notes down for the milk course. Sweet cherry and malted chocolate. I'm using a recipe of 21 in, 35 out in 23 seconds. Judges, I'll please ask that you drink from the thick side of the cup today, really highlighting that cherry note. The 8th of August, 2024. I've just returned home from my first visit to Finca Zaza, and it was an amazing experience. Not just for the coffee, but my newfound admiration for Jonathan, his partner Alejandra, and the family. We spent a lot of time on the farm, where I saw their dedication to the coffee, trees, and land. It was obvious why their coffee was so good. Jonathan showed me a section of the farm where he chopped down some high-yielding Catimor trees, the backbone of his family's harvest, to plant some geisha. Now, this was a risk, removing reliable trees for a variety that potentially might not work. There was something else I noticed while on the farm. There was brand new bioreactors in the processing area, while the old fermentation tubs were tucked around the corner. I asked Jonathan about this, and he told me he was worried about what I might think. that his farm might not be as advanced as other producers in the area. He bought them just because I was coming. Now I was shook. Was this the message I was sending? Because Jonathan didn't have expensive equipment, did he think his farm wasn't good enough? Jonathan made me realise what we say and do as competitors is noticed. New varietals, crazy processing methods are always interesting to try. But are we going to buy these coffees year after year? We can change what we like with the seasons, but for the producers, it's a risk that not only affects them now, but years and generations into the future. So we need to make sure we're sending a clear and responsible message back to producers. So today, I'm sending a message back to Jonathan that his coffee is amazing. Not for those new bioreactors, not because it's the next new thing, but because of his dedication. Hard work has transferred through to the cup. Now I'm pairing Jonathan's beautiful coffee with 90% full cream milk and 10% cryo-desiccated oat milk for increased texture and sweetness. Now we roasted this coffee on a UG22 Probat with a development percentage of 22% for increased texture and sweetness. So judges, please enjoy. We'll be back in just a moment. Cheers. Now, voice and actions are more important than ever right now. With such volatility in the industry, it's important that we fulfill our role as coffee professionals. And that means representing everyone. No one more important than the producer. So today, for the signature course, I'm representing Jonathan by adding 2 espressos of his natural Pacamara, extracted to the same numbers as the milk course. But it's more than just that. This is the life work of a 4th generation farmer who has strived his whole life to elevate his family's coffee quality, and is responsible from taking them from commercial blenders to some of the best specialty coffee in the world. This represents Jonathan. Now, to highlight Jonathan's traditional fermentation methods, not those new bioreactors, I'm adding 5 mils of a honey vinegar, using 2 of the oldest fermentation methods known to man. To create this, I've taken honey from Jonathan's farm and created a wild fermentation over 2 weeks, using 5 parts water to 1 part honey. Then, adding 1% acetic acid to create vinegar over 1 week, eliminating alcohol. Now, this is also a message to the industry. The traditional methods aren't a thing of the past. New fermentation methods don't supersede long-term practices. Now, while every method is valid, it's what's in the cup that counts. Now, by adding this to the drink, it provides vibrancy and works with Jonathan's coffee to give us new flavours of raspberry kombucha and cola. Now, I'm also representing Jameson today by adding 2 espressos of his natural geisha, extracted to the same numbers as the espresso course. This represents 2 decades of determination to produce the best coffee you can, by not only continuing to learn and grow, but by pushing through diversity and challenges where many would have found it easy to give up. This represents Jameson. Now, to highlight Jameson's, the value of Jameson's coffee, I'm adding 150 ml of a Cascara and passion fruit distillate. Cascara, a byproduct of production, and passion fruit husks, normally a waste product, and created value. To create this, I used equal parts passion fruit, water, and Cascara, placed into a rotary evaporator and applied at 50-degree heat under vacuum pressure and collected the distillate. Now, this works with Jameson's coffee to give us balance and create new flavours of peach and pineapple. Next, I force carbonate this drink to 60 psi to achieve an effervescent texture and infuse the flavours for 3 days. So here's one I prepared earlier. Now, I'm also serving this drink at 4 degrees for flavour clarity. And judges, If you didn't already, if you please write these tasting notes down. Of pineapple, peach, raspberry kombucha, and cola. I'll please ask you wait until I call time to assess this drink. Please take as many sips as you like. All right. Now we're on one of the biggest stages for specialty coffee. And I know if we fulfill our role as coffee professionals by representing everyone, sharing the value in coffee, and sending a positive message back to producers, I know we can have a positive influence on the industry we all sorely love. Now judges, I wrote one last diary entry this morning, and I would love to share that with you before I call time. The 15th of June, 2025. Today is the Australian Barista Championship. I'm nervous, but more than anything, excited, because this time feels different. I can't wait to get on stage and share this message. Jonathan and his partner Alejandra have given me the inspiration to compete this year and change my perception of coffee. Now I know they'll be watching, and I hope I make them proud. Jump.
Thank you, Jack Simpson of Axel Coffee. Hello. We have to wait for the extended applause. Thank you. Thanks for taking us on that journey.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's interesting to hear how different everything has been for the last few years since you've started doing barista competitions.
For sure, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like, yeah, completely changed over the last couple of years, and yeah, obviously had a little bit of success, but yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind.
But it's cool to see and hear all of the places that you've been to go, all of the relationships that you've managed to foster, and the fact that you can bring coffee from those relationships right back here to our judges and to people through your stores as well. So,
Yeah, 100%. I think this routine meant a little bit more than it normally does. I think I've got a deeper connection with the producers that I represented today. So, yeah, it was a routine I was really looking forward to do. So,
and it was quite unique as well. So I think it's really cool for everybody to be able to share that journey and experience with you. Now, I'm sure that journey has included quite a few people. Is there anyone?
100%, yeah.
Is there anyone that you'd like to specifically thank today?
Yeah, lots of people. So, yeah, first of all, obviously, Jamison and Jonathan.
Absolutely.
For those amazing coffees. So that was, yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, obviously my team at Axel, so Matt, Gabby, Dave, the whole Axel crew, yeah, they've been a huge help, and yeah, I'm very privileged to be able to have, you know, a team like this, and I know not everyone does, so I'm very grateful for it.
And they've been incredible with supporting you as well.
Yeah, unbelievable. Couldn't ask for
Awesome.
more.
All right, it's almost time to go and sit and breathe. So I'll just let you all say thank you one last time. Jack Simpson, everyone.
Thanks, Bruno. Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Thank you. Thanks, Ali. Cheers. Thanks, Alicia. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.